Okay, so today we are going to be reading Chrysanthemum. So, chrysanthemum is actually a type of flower, and it is all sorts of different colors, and they look like this. And this one is my favorite because it's purple. And chrysanthemum actually is the flower of the month for November, and it means loyalty and devoted love. I wonder if that's going to come into play with the story. All right, Chrysanthemum by Kevin Hinkes. All right. The day she was born was the happiest day in her parents' life. She's perfect, said her mother. Absolutely, said her father. And she was. She was absolutely perfect. Oh, those look like there's chrysanthemums on her blanket. Her name must be everything she is, said her mother. Her name must be absolutely perfect, said her father. And it was. Chrysanthemum. Her parents named her Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum grew and grew and grew, and when she was old enough to appreciate it, Chrysanthemum loved her name. Look, she starts out as a baby, and then she grows all the way into, I love my name. She loved the way it sounded when her mother woke her up. She loved the way it sounded when her father called her for dinner. And she loved the way it sounded when she whispered it to herself in the bathroom mirror. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum loved the way her name looked when it was written with ink on an envelope. She loved the way it looked when it was written with icing on her birthday cake. And she loved the way it looked when she wrote it with her big, fat orange crayon. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. Do you guys get mail? Do you like the way that your name looks? I love getting mail. Makes me feel special. Chrysanthemum thought her name was absolutely perfect. And then she started school. Look, she's running with some butterflies. On the first day, Chrysanthemum wore her sunniest dress and her brightest smile. She ran all the way. Hooray, said Chrysanthemum. School! Do you guys run to school with butterflies trailing behind you? I hope so. I know I do. But when Miss Chud took roll call, everyone giggled upon hearing Chrysanthemum's name. All right, so it looks like this is Miss Chud. And look at all of these names. We have Dawn, Eve, Louise, Al. We have a Victoria, and Chrysanthemum goes farther than the box. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's so long, said Joe. It scarcely fits on your name tag, said Rita, pointing. I'm named after my grandmother, said Victoria. You're named after a flower. Look, that looks like that's Victoria. I wonder why she thinks it's wrong to be named after a flower. I like flowers. Chrysanthemum wilted. Oh, we have a play on words. So, wilted is when a flower doesn't have enough sun or food or water, and it starts to get tired. So when a flower wilts, you guys should probably look at the environment it's in. Does it need more sun? Check the soil. If it's really dry, you can get a little bit of water. She did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She thought it was absolutely dreadful. The rest of the day was not much better. During nap time, Victoria raised her hand and informed Miss Chud that Chrysanthemum's name was spelled with 13 letters. That's exactly half as many as there are in the entire alphabet, Victoria explained. Okay, so if 13 is half as many letters as there are in the alphabet, can anybody tell me how many letters total are in the alphabet? Insert child answer. Thank you for sharing that with us, Victoria, said Miss Chud. Now put your head down. Look, she's getting up to tell everybody, and this looks like Chrysanthemum, and she looks like she's sad. If I had a name like yours, I'd change it, said Victoria, as the students lined up to go home. I wish I could, thought Chrysanthemum miserably. Look, Victoria is being awfully mean. Welcome home, said her mother. Welcome home, said her father. School is no place for me, said Chrysanthemum. My name is too long. It scarcely fits on my name tag, and I'm named after a flower. Oh, pish, said her mother. Your name is beautiful, and precious and priceless and fascinating and winsome, said her father. It's everything you are, said her mother. Absolutely perfect, said her father. Chrysanthemum felt much better after her favorite dinner, macaroni and cheese with ketchup. Do you guys eat macaroni and cheese with ketchup? And an evening filled with hugs and kisses and parcheesi. It looks like her father is reading a book called The Inner Mouse, Volume 1, Childhood Anxiety. I wonder why he's reading that. That night, Chrysanthemum dreamed that her name was Jane. It was an extremely pleasant dream. The next morning, Chrysanthemum wore her most comfortable jumper. She walked to school as slowly as she could. She dragged her feet in the dirt. Chrysanthemum, 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 she wrote. The rest of the day was not much better. During nap time, Victoria raised her hand and said, "A chrysanthemum is a flower. It lives in a garden with worms and other dirty things." Well, what else does a flower live with? Because I don't think they're all dirty. I think it lives with grass and bees and ladybugs. And can you guys think of anything else that a flower lives with? Insert child answer. Thank you for sharing that with us, Victoria, said Miss Chudd. Now put your head down. And it looks like we have on the chalkboard behind words we know. We have tail, rodent, my cheese, cat, all names or all words that are pretty short and not chrysanthemum. But now we know chrysanthemum. I just cannot believe your name, Victoria said as the students lined up to go home. Neither can I, thought Chrysanthemum miserably. Welcome home, said her father. Welcome home, said her mother. School is no place for me, said Chrysanthemum. They said I even look like a flower. They pretended to pick me and smell me. Oh, pish, said her mother. They're just jealous, and envious, and begrudging, and discontented, and jaundiced. Okay, so can anybody guess what those words mean? Insert answer. Who wouldn't be jealous of a name like yours, said her mother. After all, it's absolutely perfect, said her father. Now what book is her dad reading? A Rose by Any Other Name, Understanding Identity. Chrysanthemum felt a trifle better after her favorite dessert, chocolate cake with buttercream frosting, and another evening filled with hugs and kisses and parcheesi. Looks like that's a cake. Now I want cake. That night, Chrysanthemum dreamed that she really was a chrysanthemum. She sprouted leaves and petals. Victoria picked her and plucked the leaves and petals one by one until there was nothing left but a scrawny stem. It was the worst nightmare of Chrysanthemum's life. See, and there's Victoria picking all of her petals. That's not nice and probably hurts. Chrysanthemum wore her outfit with 7 pockets the next morning. She loaded the pockets with her most prized possessions and her good luck charms. Chrysanthemum took the longest route possible to school. She stopped and stared at each and every flower. Chrysanthemum, 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 the flowers seemed to say. Look at all those pockets, and they're all different patterns. I want something with 7 pockets. I wonder what her good luck charms are. That morning, the students were introduced to Mrs. Twinkle, the music teacher. Her voice was like something out of a dream, as was everything else about her. The students were speechless. They thought Miss Twinkle was an indescribable wonder. They went out of their way to make a nice impression. also looks like she's pregnant and she's drawn a little face on her belly. Miss Twinkle led the students in scales. Then she assigned roles for the class musical. Victoria was chosen as the dainty fairy queen. Rita was chosen as the spiffy butterfly princess. Jo was chosen as the all-important pixie messenger. And Chrysanthemum was chosen as a daisy. Chrysanthemum's a daisy. Chrysanthemum's a daisy. Jo, Rita, and Victoria chanted, thinking it was wildly funny. Why is that funny? Chrysanthemum wilted. Does anybody remember what we said that wilting was? She did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She thought it was absolutely dreadful. What's so humorous? Asked Miss Twinkle. Chrysanthemum was the answer. Her name is so long, said Jo. It scarcely fits on her name tag, said Rita, pointing. I'm named after my grandmother, said Victoria. She's named after a flower. And there is Victoria, and there's Chrysanthemum. My name is long, said Mrs. Twinkle. It is, said Jo. My name would scarcely fit on a name tag, said Miss Twinkle. It would, said Rita, pointing. And, said Miss Twinkle, I'm named after a flower, too. You are? Said Victoria. Yes, said Miss Twinkle. My name is Delphinium. Delphinium Twinkle. And if my baby is a girl, I'm considering Chrysanthemum as a name. I think it's absolutely perfect. Look at how shocked they are. Oh my gosh. Chrysanthemum could scarcely believe her eyes. She blushed, she bleamed. She beamed, she bloomed. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. Jo, Rita, and Victoria looked at Chrysanthemum longingly. Call me Marigold, said Jo. I'm Carnation, said Rita, pointing. My name is Lily of the Valley, said Victoria. It's very dramatic. Chrysanthemum did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She knew it. And that is our story.